Okay. Hi, everybody. Stop. I'm nervous. Okay. Hello, everybody. I'm Dwayne MacEachern, and this is the Community from Within podcast. And if you're one of the 3 people on the entire planet who's ever listened to the podcast before that I know of, then this should be episode 30. But it's the first episode going on YouTube. It's also the first episode in 9 months. It's only been 9 months since I recorded an episode, right? That's nothing. So I'll do an introduction as if this is the first episode, because I'm basically starting over. I'm rebooting the Community from Within podcast. And I'll tell you what happened. So, well, the podcast is, as I've said in the previous ones, where I work is about a 45-minute to 1 hour drive each way. So I have, roughly, 2 hours every day in the car, 5 days a week. And I wanted to come up with a way of utilizing that time better. And I have a background in community development, community organizing, that sort of thing. I can't remember all the things I've talked about in past episodes. I'll probably repeat myself some. But long story short, I kind of grew out of it after a while. I got frustrated with certain things and too busy with life and other things to be involved. And I wanted to get back involved somehow, but didn't know how or where to be involved. So I started the podcast as an idea just to talk through my own thoughts and opinions and ideas. And just put them out there. So that's what this is about. I talk about community development, starting your own business, entrepreneurship, all these sorts of things. And I have a list of ideas and stuff that I want to do for the podcast, which I'll get to. So what happened was, of course, COVID hit. And then I wasn't driving back and forth to work anymore. I worked from home for, 2 months or more, something like that. So I had 2 hours a day at home when I wasn't driving, and so I used that time to do other things at home. Where I live, we have a little homestead kind of thing going on with animals, pigs, chickens, ducks, that sort of thing. There's always projects, always things to do. So I didn't get to sit down and record the podcast like I wanted to. From the spring onward, there were a couple times where I recorded some things, and I didn't get to put them out. There's some things that needed editing. So I want to revisit that later. And then I came back to work after, things opened up a bit, after COVID was still, under control, let's say, in the Atlantic provinces. And then shortly afterward, I started, when was it? Sometime last year in 2019, when I hurt myself. I lifted something too heavy and I hurt myself. And the pain got progressively worse over time. Long story short, I had a hernia. And on my left side, like in the groin area. And so it got to the point where in August I was almost unable to walk anymore. And I had to have surgery. And so it's funny, yesterday was almost, I think, 4 days in a row for the first time since the surgery where I didn't have any pain. And so today's the 5th day in a row. That's the longest stretch I've had without any pain since. And this is November 16th, 2020. I'm recording this. And the surgery was September 1st. So 2.5 months almost. And I've been experiencing, some degree of pain. Like obviously gradually went down, but I totally underestimated the hernia. I thought I was off work for a little while. I thought when I was off work, maybe I'd have some time there to jump back into this, record some podcasts or something, because I'd be sitting around. I knew that. I expected there to be severe pain for a few days, and then it would teeter off, and then I just had to more or less be careful about what I did, not overexert myself. I didn't realize the level of pain that would stick with me. And I made some stupid mistakes. Like a few days after the surgery, I remember I picked up a kitchen chair. I just picked up a kitchen chair and moved it without thinking. And I had to go to the ER the next day to get checked out because I thought I ripped myself right open again. I didn't, thankfully, but I strained myself a few times, which prolonged the pain, I guess. But that's over. It's done. 5 days without any pain. I feel fantastic now. And I want to get back into this. I want to reboot the podcast, talk about some other ideas, and just get things going. So what I would do is I'll get in the car, start it up, and go home. And that's what we're going to do. So let's get this underway. Hopefully the stabilizer there keeps everything from being too bouncy. Hopefully the sound quality will be okay. Let's see. Okay, here we go. I'm going home. So yeah, I don't remember where I left off with the podcasts back in March. I recorded several episodes that I believe I can save and edit in some ways, and I have other ones that for one reason or the other I just didn't put them online. And so of course I have no memory of what exactly I said in any of them anymore. But I did start last year in the spring, early spring, still snow on the ground. I remember recording some videos for a new idea. And my whole background in community development was in something called what they term ABCD, or asset-based community development. It's where you look at the assets in your community or in your household, whatever you individually own, and how do you use those assets to how do you build on them to get ahead, how to get what you want, to get what you need. And one of the things I love to watch on YouTube, for example, is restoration videos. There's quite a few channels out there of people that just take old things they find, sometimes old tools or engines or machinery, whatever it is, and they restore them back to usable condition or new condition. I always loved restoring old cars, things like that. Yeah, so and over the winter, I got into a series on Netflix there, a couple of them, but one in particular is on restoring old cars. Caught my interest because it's based in Canada. It's called Rust Valley Restorers, or Rust Valley Restorations, something like that. And I love the show, and I love what they're doing. And I watched a few shows like that, and I started getting the itch because my very first car, when I was 16, I bought a 1973 Dodge Charger, and did not a complete but almost complete restoration. I basically did everything but the paint job, and ended up having to sell the car later on before I could complete it. But I redid the whole interior, changed the front bench seat to bucket seats. I changed the dash pad, that sort of thing. With my help of my father, rebuilt the engine, put dual exhausts on it with headers. Oh, it was wonderful, you know. And I grew up working around a gas station and around cars, and I worked as a mechanic for a time. So I don't know if I love the idea of being a mechanic as my job, but I do love tinkering with my own vehicles, and I love restoring old cars. So that's something as a child, I remember saying that maybe that's something I would have liked to do as a profession. But of course, well, around here, everything just rusts. Old cars don't last. So to have a good base of vehicles to work on like that, you need to be in like British Columbia, which is where Rust Valley Restorers is located. Anyway, I'm getting off topic here. What I mean to say is, I have all these thoughts swirling around in my head, and I had the idea of my own YouTube channel specifically for projects, and so I started working on that, and I called it Asset-Based Project Development, ABPD. So you're going to see on the YouTube channel here, if you're listening to this as a podcast form, go to communityfromwithin.com, and we'll have the link there for the Asset-Based Project Development YouTube channel. And I did a project I broke a handle on a hammer in my workshop. So I took a block of wood from my hardwood pile, and I made a new handle, and I videotaped the entire process. Just, something to do. I instead of buying a new hammer or buying a handle, I made one myself using what I had available to me, and that was a fun little project. So that's there. I actually recorded that whole thing, and I recorded segments of other things. I have a few projects I was going to be working on, and I am going to be working on. And on top of that, this is where the vehicle comes in. I have, on the property where I moved a few years ago, in the woods, there's a 1967 GMC truck, and right beside it is a 1968 Chevy truck. And between the two of them, they're almost complete. And what they say with a vehicle like that is if you have a frame in the cab, you can buy almost every other part. And it got me thinking, well, the frame is there, but it's gone. It's toast. But there's, you could use the cab is all there. You could put the cab on a different frame and then build a truck out of whatever I can find or however I can do it. The idea being, instead of buying every part, to scrounge every part, to scrounge and fabricate and make whatever I can out of the things that asset-based project. So there's going to be a series on the truck restoration. All of this stuff I started working on last winter and into the spring, and really between COVID and the hernia affected my ability to do things. As the summer went on, I couldn't. Like I said, eventually I couldn't even walk at home. We were very, very fortunate. We had a couple projects to do this summer that we had to do. One of them was building a new tool shed, because we needed to clear out some space in one building to put some chickens in for the winter. And I started trying to build this thing, and I couldn't finish it. And we're so fortunate we had some friends come by on a couple of occasions and help out, and they finished. They put the roof on it for me and everything. I was just kind of like hobbling around the yard, pointing and talking to people. And so a lot of the, what am I trying to say here? The fun things, the extracurricular things that I would have liked to do this year, this podcast being one of them, all got shuffled off to the side. But now I'm better. I'm back to work. I feel fantastic, and I'm, I guess no other way to put it than my head is in the right space again to do this, because my head was not in the right space to do this for the last, I've been back to work for a few weeks now, but it's taken a while to feel good. When you still feel, I know a couple people out there who deal with chronic pain on a daily basis, and some of them like for years and years now. I don't know how they do it. I don't know. It's like it was so frustrating and exhausting. Like the first month after surgery, just being in pain was exhausting, and you get so sick and bloody tired of it. I mean, ooh, I don't like that sound. That's just the pavement. Oh. My car's making a funny noise there, I just realized. Let's see. Uh-oh. I think I got a wheel bearing going. Oh, sorry for the... I have an obvious noise in the car that was not there this morning on the way to work. So either I have a tire going low, or a tire coming loose or something. It's really strange. I'm gonna pull over. Okay. The wheel nuts on my front driver's side tire wheel were loose. The wheel was about to fall off. So I had to get the lug wrench out of the back and tighten them up again. Luckily nothing broke or snapped. Let's try this again. I changed the tires. I put the winters on about a week ago. I drove around for a few days and I retorqued them when Wednesday or Thursday of last week. But I never liked, I'm driving a Hyundai Accent. Love the car, don't get me wrong, but one thing I never liked about it is the wheel torque is 70 foot-pounds according to the owner's manual. And I don't know if you've ever used a torque wrench or experienced what 70 foot-pounds is of torque, but it's not very much. In contrast, I have a Ford F-150. It's 150 foot-pounds, more than double the torque. And the problem is, if you over-torque them, let's say if I torqued up to 90 or 100, you could potentially break or screw up the threads on the nut. So anyway, whew. It's a little less loud and shaky. I don't remember what I was talking about. This is fun, I'm actually just really happy about the fact that I'm going to get into this again and talk about some stuff. Obviously, how we approach community economic development, entrepreneurship, all these things. It's going to require a new twist, because we have to live with COVID, at least for the moment. So we have to deal with that. Let's see. I wrote down some stuff. Can't do this. Talked about what happened. Talked about the YouTube video channel. Yeah. Okay. So the last thing really to talk about is the company. So if you followed along in the previous podcast, you know that the sponsor to the podcast is Good Boy Dog Treats. And Good Boy Dog Treats is my own company. And I started this company because I am getting the grain, spent grain it's called, from a local brewery. And use that to feed the pigs and chickens, ducks. I read today online, actually, it's good, you can use it in rabbit feed if you grow meat rabbits. So I thought that was interesting. Of course, spent grain can only be used usually up to about 30% max of their total diet, because it doesn't have all the carbohydrates and other nutritional requirements you would require. But it works as a supplement. So I was getting all this grain. I was looking for other things to do. Googled what do you do with spent grain, and dog treats came up. So last year in 2019, I applied and was allocated a spot at the Mabu Farmers Market a few times, and that went fantastic. Then I went in. I got a couple of people interested in retail, so I was selling it at a couple locations there. After COVID and everything came about, I didn't know what was going to happen with the farmers market. Sounded like it was going to be a smaller thing. I didn't want to take a spot. Whoa. Seen a vehicle go in the ditch there. I don't know what they're doing. Well, I can't pull them out with my Hyundai. I wonder if I got that on video. I have a dash cam going there. I'll have to check that later. Oh yeah, Mabu Farmers Market. So trying to think what to do with it. One, with COVID and everything, I didn't know if it was a good idea to do the market. The market itself, didn't know if it was going to happen or what they're going to do. But it sounded like it was going to be maybe smaller, less vendors to give the required amount of space and all this stuff. So anyway, I also thought I don't want to take a table away from somebody who might depend on the market for part of their livelihood. So I decided not to do the farmers market. Stuck it out with the retail places and hope to expand on the retails, but again, just with everything that happened this summer, it didn't happen. So, and I haven't made dog treats since May. So basically, Good Boy Dog Treats went kaplunk, and with the hernia and everything, I didn't have it. I didn't have the ability. I was lucky enough to have a good friend and neighbor, Daryl, my buddy, who got the grain for me through the entire time when I had the hernia issue, and so I'm very grateful to him. And so I got to mention, don't let me forget to mention an upcoming project with Daryl. How many things do I got to talk about here? Try not to forget everything. So see, that's my brain. I lost track of everything. Oh, so yeah, I'm rebooting everything. I got to reboot Good Boy Dog Treats. So I have to get a hold of the retail outlets and inquire if they're still interested in having some there. Sorry for the light. Bad lighting here. And if they're still interested, and if I can find more, I'm going to try and make a go of the dog treat business once more. And I also want to, I want to use I want it to be profitable, of course, and I want a portion of those profits to help out my friend Ingrid, who has an organization in South Africa. It's called Inspire Children.org, maybe. I have the link on communityfromwithin.com. I've talked about them before, but I want Good Boy Dog Treats to take a portion of what they make and send to South Africa for Middle Post Farm, which is her farm where she works with rural farm children and rural folks. She does excellent work. I know Ingrid. She's a friend of mine for many years, and a tireless advocate for the poor people in South Africa. So I want to get that on the go. And then I mentioned my buddy Daryl, my neighbor. He and I have been kicking around this idea. He would often tag along to get this grain with me for the drive at the brewery. And we always have these great conversations. And so we talked about just recording the conversations and putting it on a podcast. So we'll be doing that very soon. We're going to start. The podcast is called Backroad Buzz with Daryl and Dwayne. And hopefully we'll have that coming out as well very soon. I'll again post a link on communityfromwithin.com. So I think that's it for everything. I wanted to, just, again, introduce myself. I didn't even do that, did I? Did I say my name? I think I did. If I didn't, my name is Dwayne MacEachern. I'm from the East Coast, the West Coast of Cape Breton Island on the East Coast of Canada. And, I wish you're getting the reflection here. We call it the sunset side of Cape Breton Island. The sun's going down. I'm driving. The entire ocean is right there. It's an amazing view. But yeah, I'm really passionate about small rural communities. I'm passionate about community development. I'm passionate about homesteading and learning about, I love keeping chickens and pigs, things like that. I like learning new things and ways of being self-sustainable. And I love fixing things and restoring things. So I want to put this all together. I want to put and the Good Boy Dog Treat Company. I don't know how much I've talked about this in the past, but it's all about reusing waste byproduct. The spent grain is a waste byproduct from the brewery. My day job, I work in an industrial setting, and there's these straps that get used in rail cars, and they're like it's like a poly woven webbing, and when they're putting the straps in the rail cars, there's often pieces that are too long or whatever, they get cut off and thrown away, and they're just the right length sometimes if I collect them before they go in the garbage to be used for making a dog leash. So I started working on those, and there's a couple other ideas I have for repurposing discarded materials to make pet products. So that's so all these things come together between the Community From Within, which started as a blog, then a podcast, now a YouTube channel, and the Asset-Based Project Development YouTube channel, where I'll show videos of me restoring things and building things, and Backroad Buzz with Daryl and Dwayne is just me and my friend Daryl, just going to be chit-chatting about whatever topics of the day. We always, we think alike in a lot of ways, and we think differently in a lot of ways, and wish in many ways we just started recording a lot of our previous conversations, because there's a lot of great material there. Yeah, so that's all going to be fun. So please hit the subscribe button, hit the like. The podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and Google Play. And like I said before, I literally know of 3 people on the planet who've told me they've ever listened to this thing. So if you have listened to the podcast, if you do on Apple or Stitcher or Google Play, leave a couple stars, please. Leave some stars and a review. Like it, whatever buttons you press. Because that helps when people are searching for something along the topics of whatever I put in as a tag for these episodes and stuff. It helps other people to discover the podcast. So if for some unknown reason you actually like what you see and what you're hearing, like it, share it, subscribe to it, and that will help more people find it as well. And I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. I can't believe it's almost dark. It's literally 4:45, and the sun is going down. Disgusting. I feel good though. I'm glad I got to. The key. Will you see this? Will I actually take the time and initiative to put this online? Yes, indeed, I will. It will be online tonight. Maybe not. Well, we'll see. I have to come up with a little bing, bing, bing intro. Maybe not. We'll see what I have time for. But either way, we'll get this up online very, very soon. This is the reboot. It's all happening. Yeah. Go to communityfromwithin.com. Check out all the previous podcast episodes and blog posts. And there's a contact form there. You can contact me, send me an email. Use the contact form to send me a message. Any questions, comments, topics that you want me to discuss or look into. And thanks for listening, everybody. You have a great day. Cheers.